What's up, YouTube? Israel back with a quick video today. Just wanted to do another video, but specifically I wanted to do a video on a particular note that I really enjoy wearing. This note actually works better for me in the fall and wintertime, and most of these fragrances actually are better in the fall and wintertime anyway. So, and fall's right around the corner. I think it's actually already here. It just hasn't gotten that cool in Texas yet. But I wanted to do a list of my favorite, one of my favorite notes, and of some of my favorites I'm going to be wearing with this particular note in it. It is the note of tobacco. Now there is quite a few other fragrances out there that I really enjoy that have tobacco in them. I just do not have them in my collection at the moment. So I just kind of plucked the ones from my collection now, set them aside here, and kind of just listed a few notes. And I'm going to give just a brief description on some of these. Some of these you might have heard of. A few of them are I think, designer. The rest of them are niche. It's not a long list. Just a few tobacco scents that I'll be wearing this fall and winter that I thought I would share with you guys. Don't want to make this video too long, so I will get started. So the first one was a fragrance that I actually found last year. It was all the craze for a while. Can't remember, that's probably like last fall. It came out at a clothing store called Zara, and this one became hyped up like beyond. Just beyond the hype. It was just really big for a while. It smelled really good, and I still have a bottle of it. And it's really cheap. If you guys can get your hands on this, I think they still make it. I don't think it's discontinued. Don't quote me on that. But if you can get your hands on a bottle, it's like $20. Somebody mentioned it's discontinued. Don't know if that's true. I can't really say, but I still have a bottle. That's all I care about. It is from the tobacco collection, Rich, Warm, Addictive, from the House of Zara. So a few notes in this one. This is my number 8 fragrance I'll be wearing. It is coconut, tobacco, sandalwood, honey, and cedar. This one, actually, this was my scent of the day today, and a friend of mine at lunch told me he really enjoyed what I was wearing that day. So that was today. So that was cool. This one really starts off with like a coconut, almost smells like a Coca-Cola. There's like a sweetness to it. Very nice. The tobacco is very subtle in this, but it's there. A lot of people have said in the past they can't really detect it. I think it's blended really well. You can't really, it doesn't stand out like a sharp, pungent tobacco or anything. But I can definitely get it a little bit. This one, lasts, it's moderate, maybe 5 hours the most, 5-6 hours. First two and a half hours, probably projecting pretty good. So my number 7 is a popular one amongst the groups, still pretty popular, still one of my favorites because it has tobacco in it. It's got some cinnamon, some pink pepper, grapefruit, and bergamot. It's fresh, it's spicy, it's Spice Bomb. So this is actually the first year that it came out. I think it was like 2012. My bottle was like I guess you can call it vintage bottle from the first year it came out. There's rumors that it was reformulated, so I was lucky enough to get my hands on the original formula, and it's apparently supposed to be stronger. This stuff is great, guys. It's a bestseller for a reason. It really is fresh. Always gets compliments. Yeah, it's warm but fresh. It's sweet, spicy. Man, stuff just smells great. I never get tired of the scent. Whenever around the time I first started really getting into fragrances, Spice Bomb was one of my favorites. When I go out, I smell people wearing Eros more than anything, really, here lately. Eros and a couple of others that are pretty noticeable, Aventus even, but I don't smell a lot of people wearing Spice Bomb anymore, so I think that's a good sign that you won't, be wearing something that everyone else is wearing. So, coming in at number 6, this is one of my favorites for a long time. This stuff has really great longevity. Don't think there was a reformulation. I think the formula still the same on this one, which is a good thing because this stuff lasts forever on my skin. Tobacco, honey, vanilla, cocoa, maybe a little bit of patchouli. It is from the House of Thierry Mugler, Pure Havane. This is one of my favorites of all time. Got half a bottle here. What can I say about this one, guys? This one is has the Aman DNA, but has like a really nice honey sweet tobacco thing going. The sillage on this, you gotta let it tone down a little bit, maybe 10 minutes into it. It starts to smell really good. Then in 30 minutes to an hour, it smells amazing. The patchouli comes in, gets a little bit warmer and creamier. You get that Aman DNA on the top, which I'm not a big fan of that DNA, but after a little bit, it kind of fades out, but ends up smelling really good. So that was my number 6, Pure Havane. Stuff lasts, I don't know, I'll probably get 8 hours out of this one, which is a good thing because it's still a designer. Coming in at number 5, I have 2 from this house, but this one's the only one with tobacco in it. This one is Volutes by the House of Diptyque. Tobacco, honey, iris, dried fruits, and benzoin are the main notes to my nose. Not like this one isn't like one of my favorites out of all these. I enjoy it, but it's not in my top. The only thing that throws me off is the iris note on this one. I enjoy it, but it takes two different. You don't know which way you're going with it. You're going, okay. You smell the iris. You're like, okay, Diorum Intense, kind of lipstick-ish, kind of. But then you get like some tobacco, and some honey. So it kind of goes two different directions. So after a little bit of time, I started to enjoy it after a while. But I think, first impression wise, I don't think people would like this off the bat. But it took me some time. I got two of these bottles in one deal. I wanted to try this one a lot. Really, really enjoy it. It's not my favorite out of all mine, but it lasts a long time on my skin. Has a really good dry down, nice and warm. So yeah, but yeah, like I said, the iris note makes this one very unique. You wouldn't expect not me anyway. I wouldn't expect to see iris with honey and tobacco mixed together. But they do it with this one. They do a good job. It's not awful. It's a really good scent. Give it a try, guys. Next on the list, I actually did a split of this one last winter, I believe. Went by Neiman's and found this. I didn't even know that this house made an exclusive line, and fell in love with a couple of them actually, and ended up picking up a bottle of this one from the House of Lalique. It's Or Intemporel. This was a 100 ml bottle. I mean, this thing comes in a lacquer box, like Killian's do. This is tobacco, vanilla, coffee, and patchouli are the main notes. The coffee is actually the major player in this one, but you can get some of the tobacco in this. But this thing is really, really nice, guys. Like if you like coffee and tobacco and patchouli, you're gonna really like this one. My bottle's almost empty. I just can't wait for a nice cold day to wear this one. This one has a really strong opening. I don't get the best longevity with this one, and for the price, it's kind of. That's why I did a split, so I can keep a bottle and just keep. I probably have like maybe 20 ml in here, but it doesn't last as long as it should. The opening is a bomb. Like it probably projects for a good first hour and a half, 2 hours, but after that it dies down quite a bit. But it's just such a lovely fragrance, guys. Like coming in at number 3. This was also another split that I did because I heard a lot about this one. This one was it wasn't too different from what I thought it was going to smell like. It was a lot drier than I thought and dustier than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be just a little bit more like a creamier fragrance. So this was from the House of Nishane, Fan Your Flames, which I believe is the best from the house. It's the one everybody talks about. I gave it a try. I split. This is the extrait perfume concentration. Only comes in 50 ml. So I believe I have about half a bottle left. So I split half of the bottle. It's coconut, tobacco, rum, tonka, and cedar. Now I fell in love with the notes on paper, but the fragrance isn't bad at all. It's just very smoky and dry and dusty, and I wasn't expecting that. I was actually expecting more of a. If you can picture those notes: coconut, tobacco, rum, tonka, and cedar. Picture those notes, but just without being so dry. It's a good fragrance, don't get me wrong. It's very smoky, though, almost like campfire smoky and woody, which isn't bad. I enjoy those fragrances. I just wasn't expecting a dry wood, a dry tobacco, a dry coconut. It's almost like a coconut tree with the coconut smell in there. It's not bad at all. I really, really enjoy it. It's why it's still in my collection. I haven't sold it. I usually sell everything off so I can bring new stuff in so I can make more videos. But this one I kept because it's a great fragrance. It's just really expensive. I think this 50 ml bottle was maybe $160. I'm sure you can get it cheaper somewhere else, but I got that on eBay with a discount, I believe. Next up, for number 2 that I have of the tobacco scents that I'll be wearing this fall and winter, this one, oh my gosh. So I had a bottle of this, liked it a while back, wanted something else, I sold it. A friend of mine wore this one night. He had bought a full bottle of it. Wore it one night, and I was like, man, what are you wearing? That smells amazing. It's so funny how like I seriously now I'm like talking to my friend going, okay, I want you to wear some of my fragrances one day. That way I can smell them on you because I want to know how they smell to other people because, man, that's honestly has changed my mind on a lot of fragrances because when I smell them on someone else, I'm like, man, what is that? And it turns out I had it and sold it because I thought it smelled differently. But in the air, when you mix it, like in the sillage, I'm usually going like this, or I'm smelling it off my neck. But like in the air, when it kind of floats around, it changes quite a bit as well. And I know there's skin chemistry and all that stuff, but I'm just saying, like, the main ingredients usually still tend to stay the same. From the House of Slumber House, it's Keist. This is by far my favorite from this house. This is a 30 ml extrait de parfum. If you guys ever try this one, this stuff is strong. One of the strongest fragrances I own. This stuff easily lasts 18 hours, if not more than that. Go easy on the trigger. I mean, there's a reason why they sell this in 30 ml only. You probably need, I don't know. He told me he used one spray that night. I could smell him across the room. I would say two to be safe, just two. And it was really cold that day. But this performs really well. It's pretty linear. It doesn't change very often, or it doesn't change often. Doesn't blend anything else. Stays the same. The notes are peach, tobacco, honey, and tonka. That's the main notes. Guys, this peach note in this travels across the room. I'm trying to go easy on this trigger here. Get a little drizzle of this. I did actually a first impressions video of the House of Slumber House a while back. I had like 5 samples of the most popular ones, and did a sample, and that one I think was my favorite. Was Keist. Yeah, guys, this stuff is just beast mode juice. It's like, I mean, a little bit goes a long way. It starts off sweet, like a almost like, it reminds me of like the cherry Tootsie Pops, even though it's peach, but just it has like that sweetness of it. But just imagine peach instead of cherry, but it smells similar to that, and it kind of tones down. It gets woodier, and you get that tobacco in there, and it's just a really great fragrance, guys. So Keist from the House of Slumber House. This stuff is really, really nice, guys. Get your hands on a bottle. It's really expensive. This is a niche house. Maybe buy a sample first before you commit to a full bottle. I've seen people actually selling these bottles online. I guess maybe they bought the full bottle, didn't like it. I happen to love this stuff. You just have to, go easy on the trigger. And for my number one, there's a few others that I wanted to include, but I couldn't. I don't have them in my collection. So these are the ones that I'll be wearing this fall. This one has been in my collection for a long time. I think I've sold my bottle twice, but I end up always buying another bottle. With the notes of tobacco, vanilla, and cinnamon. That's the main notes. From the House of Parfums de Marly, we have Herod. So this one is going to be my number one tobacco fragrance that I'll be wearing this fall and winter. Guys, this stuff is amazing. If you like tobacco scents, you can't go wrong with this one. This one seriously smells like a cigar shop. When I was a kid, there's a mall in my town called Ridgemar Mall, and there used to be a place called Tobacco Lane. And they used to sell, you walk inside and have all different flavors of tobacco. Fruity flavors, smoky kind, just all different kinds of tobacco. And this is pretty much the one that I would always gravitate to, would be the one that smelled just like Herod. It was sweet pipe tobacco, had the vanilla in it. It just reminded me of that store, of being a kid, walking through the mall, walking past that store. I remember I wore this once, and someone says, "Who's smoking a pipe tobacco? That smells really good." And it was me, because we were outside. Nobody else was smoking a pipe tobacco, or I'm sorry, a pipe. So yeah, and I was like, yeah, that's exactly why I like it, because it reminds me of old man pipe tobacco. It smells really, really good. Might be my favorite tobacco of all time, actually. There's a couple more out there, but this one is like tobacco prominent. These other ones have tobacco in them. Some are tobacco prominent, but this one here smells like, it will remind you of tobacco, remind you of a pipe, of smoke, of all those things. It's really nice. Yeah, it starts off sweet and creamy. There's some pepper, I think, in there that gives it a little bit of bite to it. A little bit of spiciness. The cinnamon in there gives it the woodiness and some warmth. But yeah, these are the tobacco scents I'll be wearing this fall and winter. What tobacco scents are you guys going to be wearing this fall and winter? I haven't made my official list yet for fall and winter. I will be doing that one pretty soon. I probably have to acquire a few other ones first, but those will be my favorite tobacco scents for right now. What are your favorites, guys? Do you like mine? Do you hate mine? Have you tried any of these? What are your thoughts on these? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you all so much for subscribing, for commenting, for watching, for everything. You guys are awesome. Thank you all so much for everything, guys. Until the next video, y'all take care. Thanks.